Welcome to Up to the Minute. Good to have you with us starting off the week. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we've got a good show lined up for you today. If you have a show, or I should say some information or a story you'd like to feature on Up to the Minute, you can email us at hcc.uptotheminute@hccs.edu, or you can give us a phone call at 713-718-6395. Look for all of our content on the Houston City College District Facebook page. We also have the full show posted on YouTube, our YouTube channel, and you can catch us on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Now, here's an announcement starting off the show we're very proud of. Houston City College has crossed a major milestone, surpassing 100,000 enrolled students and reaching its highest enrollment since 2019. This achievement fulfills a challenge issued last fall by our chancellor, Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher, who urged faculty and staff to restore enrollment and strengthen the institution's focus on student success. Since then, the college has seen a 30% increase in student award attainment. It is on pace to graduate a record number of students, signs that the momentum she has envisioned is taking shape. Walk across any HCC campus today and signs of renewal are on hand. They're hard to miss. Houston City College and a redesigned website aimed at improving access and support, expanded programs and student services have helped fuel the growth, offering clearer pathways and more responsive resources. We're all very proud of this milestone and look forward to continuing the growth and development of all the students on their pathway to success. Now, one of the major factors in our growth of the college has been the HCC Staff Senate. The mission of the HCC Staff Senate isn't just written by bylaws. It's lived daily in the hallways, meeting rooms, and classrooms across the campus. For many instructors, the association has become a place where their voices carry weight and their ideas help shape the future of the institution. Founded on the belief that faculty and staff should play an active role in guiding the college's direction, the association works to ensure instructors and staff have a seat at the table when decisions are made. Members routinely meet with administrators and the Board of Trustees, advocating for policies that reflect the realities of teaching and learning. But the group's work extends beyond governance. It has evolved into a hub for conversation and collaboration where faculty gather to exchange ideas, share concerns, and celebrate successes. Workshops, discussions, and informal meetups offer instructors opportunities to grow professionally and stay connected to one another. One of these workshops was just held a few days ago, and here's a review of the fine work done by the Staff Senate.
Today, we are at the West Houston Institute to celebrate the 3rd annual Staff Conference. It is one of the largest events that the Staff Senate hosts every year. Today is about opportunities for professional development, for recognition of our staff, and for connection and collaboration among our staff members. We take care of ourselves, we can better serve our students. And this is an opportunity for growth, again, development for our staff members. We have breakout sessions, we have main sessions that will provide them with the skills and the tools to better serve our students that come in the door every day. This is our 3rd annual conference, and what we have learned from our conference is that the interest is very high for the conference. There are people that want to learn, they want opportunities to connect with their colleagues, and we are really excited to have the opportunity to have the support financially to provide a conference this size. My advice is to enjoy, to relax, to engage, and learn as much as you can while you're here today. I want to say thank you to HCC for supporting the Staff Senate. I am so appreciative of HCC leadership for being here to support us and to donate items to make sure that our conference goes smoothly. So simply thank you to our staff, our leaders for being here, for their support.
Organizers said the event wasn't just about attendance, it was about reminding employees that their contributions shape the college's future. And by the end of the day, that message seemed to resonate. This was the third annual conference, and as soon as the next Staff Senate conference is announced, we'll definitely bring you that information right here. As we head into a quick break, we want to highlight a hiring event that provided current students and alumni a chance to start a new career. Representatives from Bollinger Shipyards, a major force in the nation's shipbuilding industry, stood ready to greet attendees with news and exciting opportunities. Bollinger Shipyards offers careers and apprenticeships that stretch from engineering, welding, and several maritime trades. The event saw strong participation with students and alumni connecting with recruiters, asking questions, and exploring careers in shipbuilding and related trades. The hiring event reflects HCC's ongoing commitment to supporting workforce readiness by providing meaningful opportunities for students to connect with employers and prepare for in-demand careers. We will take a quick break right now. When we return, it's time for True Crime. Jen Schaefer will join us to discuss one of the city's biggest high-profile trials. We'll be right back.
Here in Houston, we're always planning the next step.
That step starts at Houston City College.
From caring
To creating.
to coding. HCC is the college Houston needs. Take your next step here.
We have excellent resources here at VA.
It creates a nice setting where you can explore different avenues and just grow because you have that safe space to learn. I'm very grateful to be part of an excellent program.
Grow your career at VA. Visit vacareers.va.gov.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post-9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I realized I could be successful in a civilian career.
We stand by warriors and advocate for their needs going forward.
They were by my side in the hospital, and they're still with me today.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/together.
There wasn't a seat, so we built a stage. They told us to dim our light, so we stood in the spotlight. Since 1978, we've been the home for our stars, our community, our culture, preserving our stories and history, setting the stage for our future for the next generation of dreamers, doers, and disruptors. We're moved to bring us closer through every moment. Your story starts at Crossroads.
Visit crossroadstheatercompany.org.
Welcome back to the show. Good to have you with us. Todd Duplantis here. And kill them all, of course. That got your attention, right? Well, those 5 words, muttered on a hot mic. It was a hot mic moment, and it happened a while back, but it also brought about a murder mystery that lasted for decades and ended in Galveston, Texas. Podcaster and true crime author Jen Schaefer is joining me now.
Hello.
Talking about a story I know a lot about because back in the day, back when I used to do news, I actually covered this story.
That's wild.
Yeah, and we'll talk about more about the segment that I covered that was a crazy ending for it all.
Right.
But we're talking about Robert Durst, and this is one of the most extraordinary stories around. I mean, it inspired an HBO documentary. I saw a TV movie on this, and I didn't know to the end of the movie that it was about Durst.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a TV movie which was made, maybe.
Is it the one with Kirsten Dunst?
I
Maybe
believe so. Yeah.
He played his
I
wife,
watched the whole
Kathleen.
movie, and it wasn't until the end I realized this is about Durst.
So the same guy who did the Jinx did that film.
Oh wow!
And
Okay.
so it was Robert Durst that contacted him and said, "I actually want to do this."
Wow. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a crazy case. So this guy's an heir. He's a little on the kooky side.
New York guy.
Yeah, a New York guy accused of murder. His wife dies, and he's caught in a very strange way as well.
Correct. So his wife goes missing.
Yeah.
And we don't, I mean, to this day, we don't know.
And that
if
was up
he
in New
killed
York,
her.
right?
This was in New York.
Right.
So Houston, we don't claim him. He's from New York.
So he starts in the 80s?
Correct. So he's out there. He marries a woman named Kathleen. They're happily married at first.
Right.
And then friends and family realize that they're going through a little bit of a thing, right? And then supposedly he drops her off to go travel by herself.
Yeah.
And she disappears.
And then when does he transition? Well, we'll speak more on that in a second.
Right.
When does he move down to the Houston area?
So his wife goes missing. Everyone's, speculates that he had something to do with it.
They never
And,
could prove
and
it.
they could never prove it. Now, before he even goes to Galveston, he's out in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And he has a friend there. And this friend he confides in and he tells her everything. Well, this woman ends up getting shot and killed inside of her home.
And no one's convicted.
They
of this.
don't think that, they think her father was actually part of organized crime.
Yeah.
And so they believe that it was somehow connected to that, but friends kind of speculated that perhaps Durst had something to do with that because he confided in her everything about his
ex-wife, right?
Correct.
Right. And his late wife, or I should say now.
Correct.
And he gets down to the Houston area.
Yes.
In Galveston.
In Galveston.
Of all places.
Of all places.
Yeah.
Now, this super, super wealthy guy comes to Galveston to hide out, we assume. And we assume it because he disguises himself.
As a mute woman.
As a mute.
Old lady.
As an old lady.
Yeah. And he gets away with that for some time.
For some time. So he moves into this, and mind you, this guy has money, right?
Yeah.
So he moves down here. He rents this really, basic.
He was in a basic motel, wasn't it?
Apartment, just like very, no frills, no nothing, just like kind of your, Galveston beachside apartment. Lives next door to a guy named Morris Black.
Right. And they start hanging out together.
Correct.
And then Black ends up dead.
Correct.
And then dismembered.
Correct.
And here's the wild part where my story comes in, because Durst is picked up for stealing a sandwich from a convenience store.
Absolutely.
They sent me down when I worked in news to go cover that. And that's kind of when things started to unravel for him.
And that's another aspect of this mystery. There's so many different mysterious aspects of it, but you have this very wealthy man comes to Galveston, rents this, apartment, that, any person could be living in.
And he's in his late 60s.
He's in his late 50s, early 60s. Okay. Lives next door to this guy, dresses as a woman. This man ends up dead. He's found by authorities, dismembered in Galveston Bay.
Right.
They found him because within his dismembered body parts, they found a piece of mail with his address on it. And it led to him, and that's how they could identify him. They finally find this guy, Robert Durst, who disguised himself as a woman.
Right.
They arrest him for it. He confesses to it.
I mean, and then he's convicted of only dismembered or tampering with a dead body.
Correct.
And that's what he's finally convicted with. Then he goes to jail and then he passes away, correct?
Correct. So he's arrested. He pays his own bond.
Yeah.
So he gets out.
Right.
So he pays it all cash. They're like, hey, he's like, well, how much is the bond? Right, $250,000. He goes, well, I don't have that on me, but I can just write. So he's rich enough to just write a check for that. He gets out, goes on the lam, steals the sandwich, gets arrested, come in. There, he goes to trial. He actually gets off for it.
I remember. This story was twisted. It was crazy, but it made a great for TV movie. I mean, so in the end, Durst winds up dying in prison, correct?
He does. So finally in 2021, after the Jinx, the Jinx airs, the hot mic accident, incident, divine intervention happens. They catch this guy in his own words saying, killed them all. Of course.
I mean, if this is a wild story. I mean, if you weren't familiar, I mean, I lived through it all. I remember all of this happening because you kept thinking this guy keeps getting off. And
weird.
I mean, it was strange until the end. And then it was during a documentary in the hot mic, correct?
It is.
I mean, that's the wildest thing. Jen Schaefer, you have a podcast. You also have a book coming out, correct?
I'm turning it in on Wednesday to publisher. So it goes through all of its fun zhuzhing, and hopefully it'll be out this fall. And that is about the Dean Coral murders that also happened in Houston.
Yes, we've discussed that before on another show I've done in the past. We want to thank you for being here, Jen. We're going to have more from Jen in just a few moments, but thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
If you want to follow her in social media, look for you as Jen Schaefer, and you can get your book when it comes out as well.
Correct.
All right. We're going to see more in a few minutes. We'll also talk briefly about if you're interested in true crime, HCC has a criminal justice program. We'll be back after this.
When faced with complex challenges, there are people who come together to solve problems and transform lives. That's us. We are Rotary. We work with community partners to build green spaces for all to connect with nature and each other. We support local youth through mentorship and literacy programs. We're committed to causes that improve lives everywhere. Find your cause and take action with us.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
En Houston, siempre planeamos el siguiente paso.
Ese paso comienza en Houston City College.
Del cuidado.
A la creación.
A la promoción.
HCC es la universidad que Houston necesita. Tu siguiente paso es aquí.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Dear coach.
Dear coach, they don't teach you that inner strength is the most important kind of strong. But you taught me that.
They don't teach you how to build confidence in yourself or how to deal with all the pressures all at once. But you taught me that.
First tee was more than golf. It's where I discovered what I'm capable of.
You didn't just prepare me for 18 holes. You were preparing me for every day of my life. Learn more at firsttee.org.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We were just talking with Jen Schaefer about the Robert Durst case. And here is a highlight she's prepared from her podcast. Take a listen.
Killed them all, of course. Those are 5 words that echoed around the world and transformed one of America's strangest criminal mysteries that lasted decades. That voice belonged to Robert Durst, a wealthy New York real estate heir who had spent more than 30 years under suspicion in the disappearance of his wife, the murder of a close friend of his, and the killing of a neighbor that he admitted dismembering. Unbeknownst to him, that remark was captured during the filming of the HBO documentary series The Jinx. Durst had walked into the bathroom while still wearing his live microphone, and he said those words, killed them all, of course. What happened next became one of the most infamous moments in true crime history. And how the story reached that moment, we have to go back in time to where it all started, back in 1982. Kathleen Durst was a 29-year-old medical student with ambitious plans for the future. She was married to Robert Durst at the time, and friends later said that her marriage had become
troubled. Then in January, she disappeared. Robert told investigators that he had last seen Kathleen after dropping her off to travel. The disappearance remained unsolved for a very long time, and Robert Durst continued his life under a cloud of suspicion. Susan Berman, a journalist, writer, and one of Durst's closest friends, was found shot to death inside of her LA house. The killing looked deliberate, execution style. Years later, prosecutors would argue that Durst murdered Berman because she knew too much, and she might reveal information about Kathleen's disappearance. Before investigators could solve that crime, another death placed Robert Durst directly in the spotlight. It was shocking, not only by its possible murder, but by its circumstances. In 2001, while living in a small Galveston apartment, Robert Durst disguised himself, not only as a woman, but as a mute woman. He met a neighbor named Morris Black. Black was killed. His body was dismembered, and the remains were packaged and dumped into the waters off of the Galveston coast. Durst admitted cutting up the body and disposing of the remains, but claimed that Black's death resulted from a struggle and that he acted in self-defense. A Texas jury acquitted him. And once again, Robert Durst walked free. For investigators, the frustration was enormous. A missing wife, a murdered friend, a dismembered neighbor, yet no murder conviction. Then came a TV series, HBO's The Jinx. Documentary filmmakers investigating Durst's life uncovered evidence that drew renewed attention to Susan Berman's killing. Among the discoveries was a handwritten note that prosecutors would later argue connected Durst to the crime. Still, it was the bathroom recording that captivated the public. Defense attorneys challenged the interpretation and the context of the recording. The moment intensified scrutiny and renewed momentum in the case. This time, investigators were able to prosecute. In 2021, Robert Durst stood trial for the murder of Susan Berman 20 years after her death and 40 years after the disappearance of his wife, Kathleen. Finally, the jury convicted Robert Durst of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but one mystery remained unsolved. What happened to Kathleen Durst? In 2021, New York prosecutors finally charged Robert Durst with her murder. The case never reached trial. In January 2022, Robert Durst died in prison at the age of 78. He left behind unanswered questions, unresolved allegations, and a trial of tragedy stretching across 4 decades. And perhaps the most haunting of all, the possibility that the moment that finally brought him down was not a witness, it was not a fingerprint, it was not a police interrogation, it was a hot mic, and his own words used against him. Those 5 words, the world will never forget. Kill them all. Of course. I'm Jen Schaefer, and this is True Crime, True Time, and that was the story of Robert Durst and his true confession.
If you're interested in true crime and would like to make a career of criminal justice, HCC offers programs through our Public Safety Institute. You can register today. Go to hccs.edu and search criminal justice. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Todd Duplantis. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.